Hi everybody, I'm Chris from Bandai Namco, and today we're going to be playing RAD, which comes out August 20th. We have a special guests, or a bunch of special guests, and I'd like them to introduce themselves actually, starting with our good pal Rocco.
Hey, what's happening? I'm Rocco from Double Fine. I'm really proud of this title. Let's just address the elephant in the room right now. Tim Schafer is not here. Because I have basically been, if you don't know who I am, I've kind of been appointed kind of like the new Tim Schafer, kind of like a better version of Tim Schafer. The CEO of Bandai Namco called me and he said, I trust you, helm this game. And I said, okay. And then he said, do a stream. And I said, okay, we'll show some gameplay. That'll be cool. And then he said, at the end of the stream, talk about Tekken 7 DLC. And I said, honestly, I don't want to do that. I think we could do the whole stream about RAD because it's such a great game. And he said, fair. He hung up. So that's my backstory.
Now we're here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, I don't really have such an exciting origin story.
Thank you.
But yeah, wow. I'm Lee Petty, and I'm the project lead of RAD. I work at Double Fine Productions.
And I'm Kevin Johnson. I'm the producer on RAD.
Awesome, thank you. So actually we're going to head right in if that's all right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Show us some gameplay.
Yeah, let's do that now. Let's check it out.
What
Okay.
would you say RAD is about, I guess?
So RAD takes place in a world that's been devastated not once but twice by apocalyptic events. So it's a post-apocalyptic game, and you play a young teen in this town that sort of lived on the edge of the wasteland for a while, and the problem is that the power they use to keep their town safe is failing. So you volunteer to be remade by this mysterious town elder and go out into the wasteland to find more power. And when you're remade, your body absorbs the toxins or the RADs from the wasteland. And when you reach a certain level of RADs, your body will randomly mutate. And that's kind of the core idea with the game is that every time you play, you're going to get different mutations, and you're going to have to kind of adapt your play style to see how long you can last with those mutations. And we start off in the town, and a town is kind of the one persistent part of the game in terms of it is the same and evolves as you upgrade it. So you can unlock new bats for your player to start with, or you can upgrade the bank, which lets you access ATMs when you're visiting shops or get other perks, or you can upgrade the town shops. There's even a farm. So there's a lot of little things that you can do here, and there are some of them are kind of hidden, so we leave a lot there for the player to kind of explore and find.
So a lot of RAD is kind of random, that's the kind of respect to the roguelike genre.
Yep.
But at the same time, there's the things that you mentioned, like the banks and the farms that kind of ground you a little bit in something consistent.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to have something the player was kind of always working towards again, like in terms of being able to upgrade their town, which over time makes your runs even more varied and helps you get a little further in the game. But also we tell little bits of story with the characters in town, and you get to kind of see that change over time too.
Let me just say this team has been killing it. I've been kind of overseeing every step and just watching this game evolve, and it's really incredible. The level design, the aesthetic of the entire game is just impeccable. They've just been nailing it, and there was a lot of obviously as the fall approaches, a lot of games coming out. This game, I told the whole team, hey, what do we do about this? Make all the other studios tremble in fear. And sure enough, this is coming out next week, and all other games were canceled.
Simultaneously.
Well, not Bandai Namco's games. They're gonna have some work, but all other studios, So it's kind of good news for everyone here in this room.
So Kevin's hovering around some of the bats right now.
Yeah, and so we've got a bunch of these unlocked. It's going to take a bit of time to unlock this when you do it full, but for right now, we figured it'd be fun to show some of these off. And they all have different abilities and can, help you with the playstyle that you prefer. So, if you let me know which one you want me to jump in with, if anybody's got a preference.
Is there any Mappy Land related content here?
Well, that music you're hearing, if you're familiar with,
This is a Mappy orchestration, correct?
it is not just an orchestration. It is the original music from, because our
So it is the Mappy.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of backstory on here. I went to the team a few months ago and I said, let's put in some Mappy content, but I want to make sure it's the original master recordings. And they were being held in a vault. We went back, we got it out, and it's great. You can really hear every orchestration. The cat police officers chasing the mice. You really hear that sound. It's a warm analog tone.
It is. So which bat should we take into the wasteland? I was going to say choose the Sword of Rejection because
All right, let's do it.
That was sort of named after, Rocco's high school dating scene. Anyways, so
I don't know what that meant.
we're just going to take the laser sword. This is actually a pretty cool bat that lets you reflect projectiles back at enemies if you happen to use it at just the right time. Because, the game really is about the mutations, but you kind of always have your melee weapon as your kind of backup. And actually, we have a pretty full-featured melee combat system as well. There's Kevin's going to show off some of... What, did you pick up a thing already? Oh, you got to use it.
That's incredible. Okay.
Okay.
All right. There we go.
So Kevin found this little hidden thing right away, which is super uncommon. You can always pause the game and kind of see your character. And it was a consumable, and so when he used it, he grew a Polyp Pal. And so the Polyp Pal follows you around. I see it's kind of gross, but it has your face, like a really big, freaky version of your face.
Whoa.
Look at that. Look how cute that is. And the Polyp Pal will follow you around for a while until it loses its life. See, it's going to go attack some enemies for you. This game is randomly generated, so every time you kind of go into this world, it's a different map layout, different enemies, different loot, different weather conditions and lighting even.
For all you maybe you're not a pro gamer like we are, that's what you call roguelike.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's correct
kind of a-
pronunciation.
Yeah.
Cool genre.
Yeah.
We're just revolutionizing it that much further.
I noticed someone in chat actually asked really quickly, what is the pre-order bonuses? And while we're not using any of them currently, I'd like to point out there are there's a special bat that you can use, as well as 2 different character styles that are exclusive to pre-ordering that we can show off in a later time.
Yeah, they're kind of arcade themed, so they have some Bandai Namco properties on their outfits, and the joystick bat is really cool. Kind of de-reses enemies when you hit them, kind of cool pixel effect.
Yeah, one of them has like a sweet Galaga jacket that I would totally wear in real life.
Yeah, you're gonna want to pre-order once you see those. You're gonna want to watch the rest of the stream on your way to your local game store.
To pre-order
Well,
digitally?
not while you're. Oh, well, you could. Yeah, that's true. Your local digital game store. It might just be in the other room, but.
So he's doing a lunge attack. A lunge attack is a combo, and he's doing the charge attack. So, we have like a 3-hit combo. You have a lunge attack. You have a charge attack. You have a jump kick in air that we can do as well. You see the sword there bounce that projectile back. Sword of Rejection rejected the fireball into another mutant and killed him. Now, at some point, see that little meter at the top? That's your RAD meter. Shows how rad you are. And when you absorb enough RADs from the world, which you usually get from mutants and a few other things in the world, you'll mutate randomly. And then that's where the game's power curve really starts to begin. You start getting things, sometimes they're range mutations, sometimes they're melee mutations, sometimes they're crowd control. You kind of see there's a big variety.
You can kind of get mutations from just about anything, right? Because there are certain places where you can get like an endomutation.
That's right, yeah. So we have sort of 2 major branches of the mutation system. We have the endos, which you get from these special machines that you can interact with, which are kind of passive benefits, and you can have any number of them. And then you have these exo mutations, which are always visualized on your character and involve active button presses and really kind of change the way you play. So here comes the first exo mutation, and this is firearm because your arm is on fire, and this is one of our more straightforward ones, but it's popular for that reason. It's very easy to use. It's a ranged mutation, and so you can single stick it if you want, but the game also supports kind of twin stick control. So if you get a ranged mutation, you can kind of use that to kind of strafe around and aim. It's really just kind of whichever way you prefer playing. So the goal of any of these levels is to find these 2 machines called respirators and kind of raise them from the ground, and then they shoot lasers out of their mouth. That was a mandate from Rocco.
Yeah, I didn't want anywhere but the just like laser mouth is kind of cool. I've always been a fan of that. So yeah, we had to implement that. Just again, kind of revolutionary roguelike technology that is just again maximized.
That's right.
Do you guys want to give us some more kind of details on the types of steaks you pick up in the game?
Yeah, we actually have a
Sirloin.
variety
Oh,
of
wait.
mutant meat. What? Where are
well,
you
I
going?
just realized-
Are you going to go cook the meat?
I'm going to.
Oh, we're going to show you a
Yes.
pro tip here. So, mutants drop meat, but if meat's exposed to a fire source,
I gotta
if
do it
Kevin's,
right. There we go.
there it goes. You can cook your meat, and if you cook your meat, it actually heals an additional point
Ooh.
of health. Sometimes you don't have a firearm to cook it, so you have to sort of kite mutants into cooking your meat for you. It's one of the strange things we offer.
Again, it's just revolutionary, more technology that we're packing into this game. This is the first commercially available game that you can cook meat.
Ever.
As far as I know,
With
that
your arm.
you've ever been
Yeah.
able to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, a whole chemistry engine in play, and so that's just what we're doing. You know, there's no limit to what you can do in this game.
You don't want to cook it too hard.
So, yeah, don't overcook your meat. You can see there's this little ATM terminal here, and because we, you know, when you first start the game, you can't use those, but after you've upgraded your bank, you can access any money you've saved between runs back in your town with that. So it's can be a really big accelerator for the early game because you can come in and buy. There's a lot of items in shops that can really speed up your game or improve certain powers. So you kind of see what mutation you have, and based on that, you kind of learn which items can kind of play off those better. So here's an example of
There's
a
a
shop.
shop.
Yeah. So we've got,
pretty
hot
high
sauce.
That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite titles of any item.
The Hill Over Time sauce, the
Yeah,
hot sauce. Yeah.
health over time sauce.
Kevin's too good.
I need more tapes.
Needs more tapes. Yeah, our currency are cassette tapes, and the keys of the game are floppy icons, also known as save icons to anyone under 30, probably. But yeah, they're actually floppy disks.
Yeah, I'd never seen one of those before because I'm young.
Yes.
Well,
I didn't know-
actually,
I didn't even know what it
I've
was.
read about them on.
I didn't even know what it was. Literally never seen one.
we're actually going to do a giveaway in a little bit where you can win one of these, as well as a copy of the game. So stick around and maybe you'll be the lucky winner of one of these pretty rad floppy disks.
We have some cool stuff on there too.
We do. And just so everybody's aware, you can buy USB drives that will read those things. So if you happen to
Tell me you can save things on a
actually get-
floppy disk?
Not a lot.
I'm hearing rumors the new MacBook is going to have a drive for those built in. So you heard it. You didn't hear it from me.
Top end technology.
You didn't hear it from me. We work in Silicon Valley, so we hear a lot of stuff.
So the end of each one of our randomly generated levels, you have a boss fight that you have to complete before you can kind of move on to the next level. And so after our first world, this is just kind of mini bosses here, nothing too tricky. Kind of warm the player up before we get a full boss. But they can still be challenging. You can do it, Kevin. Kevin's a pro. He isn't
Those
taking
rolls.
any damage, I know. Yeah, dodging, which is the
There
roll
was
move in the
Frank
game.
Lee
See,
for the
I cursed
jinx.
you. That's what I do. Rolling is really critical to the game, because you have this invulnerability window when you're rolling. And so if you're using a lot of melee moves, it's pretty critical to your success. And Kevin only messed it up at that one time, I promise.
I noticed there's a lot of random interjections of describing what you pick up. How many lines do you think there are of just different ways to say money?
We have so many lines. So that's the voice of the town elder who's kind of narrating this experience for you. And one of the elder kind of believes, because the first apocalypse took place in the 80s, so the elder sort of believes that 80s terms bring good fortune and are words of power. So he kind of evokes them to try and wish you good luck, but they're usually misused and kind of more comical than useful. But we also. I don't know, thousands. We have thousands of lines. There's so many lines. I think just recording the actor saying the word "rad," we recorded it so many different ways, and he says one.
Awesome.
So I could go back to town and deposit these tapes and do other things, but
Or just press on.
Yeah, just gonna go.
Yeah, you have
right
the
to next
option as a player to if you're trying to speed run it, you can get through if you're good, you can get through the entire game pretty quickly, run, not the whole game. But you can go back to town, and that's how you upgrade your town over time. Or if you're low on health, you might be like, well, I'm going to go back to town, see if the shop has something that I can use there before I go to the next level. You can see that this is the second level in the biome, and this is a special weather pattern called Toxic Moon. You can see kind of the green cracks in the ground, and these are, again, ran in the weather patterns. And in this one, it basically means that most of the enemies in this are all kind of toxic themed. So these kind of green, gross mutants. We call them slamphibians. Again, Rocco's idea. I mean, mandate, really.
Yeah, I really just they wanted to call them just like toads, and I was like, that's just their regular name. Let's get a little bit creative, and we just kind of shook the room up, and that's what came out of it.
That's exactly right. See, Kevin used his fire slam there. So we have, in addition to using the mutations just by sort of pressing the button, all of our mutations have hidden uses. So, we saw him cook meat earlier, but if he just does a ground pound, which is one of our standard melee moves, and hits that mutation button, you do a fire slam, and you kind of leave fire down there, which can cook meat, but it can also be an obstacle. If enemies are chasing you, they'll kind of run through it and take some additional damage.
I can almost get waterproof, which would be very, very useful.
So, yeah.
Right here. So waterproof will make it so that those toxic pools don't do any damage, and in a toxic moon is
useful.
Very
Ooh,
useful.
do you have any keys? Because there might be, is there a little secret up on top of that ledge there, or not? Maybe
Might
not.
be, but
Might be.
I'm going to deal with this first.
So there are different kinds. There was a small one earlier, but that one was significantly larger.
Yeah.
So there's even different kinds of the mutants that you come across.
Yeah. We have... Most mutants have this little family, if you will. They have this sort of base mutant, and they have an evolved and an alpha version. And when you start seeing health bars above them, they're a little tougher, and that's the evolved version. And when they get to alpha, they're bigger once again, and they usually have additional moves or behaviors that make them even more challenging to fight. Do you want to show people real quick the compendium? So everything you find, we have this big Tome of the Ancients. So if you go to maybe go to mutants, you can kind of see kind of what we kind of unlock descriptions. You get little cool sticker art, but there's a slamphibian. You can see there's the base one, and then there's like the evolved one, and there's some other. There's a dankphibian which hangs out in caves. So there's a lot of other variations that we haven't even unlocked in this save. But we just have so many things you can unlock here, all the mutants, all the items, and so it's a good reference, but also just fun descriptions and sometimes little tactical tips for hidden uses. Are you going to go into the interior and look for a cave, maybe? So we have, the interiors are kind of optional in the game. Like, you can kind of speed run the game if you want, and if you feel confident in your abilities. But the interiors sometimes have really cool loot in them, and sometimes they even have things like, not these, but we have like a whole set of caves, and the caves even have things like hidden level skips in them. So you can sometimes really kind of manage your run, how long you're gonna spend in it, and how that works. Truffle pig.
Yep.
So Kevin so you might notice that we also leave behind those big grass trails we're kind of moving around, so that's a little hard to see in this particular climate, but that's as your character moves through the world and is just absorbing the radiation, they kind of leave behind this wake of new growth. And sometimes if that growth, it will stimulate fruit that grows in it, right? And so you can pick those up and do things with them, and the mutation that Kevin just got helps him see where that fruit will grow in his transformation. So it's kind of a
Sniff one out.
Yeah, exactly. Again, that was a Rocco thing. It's about sniffing.
Yeah, and I also sometimes it can be hard. You have to backtrack. You have to go back and find some stuff. And I was telling the team, I wish I could do that a little bit quicker. And they said, I have a perfect idea. When all that growth grows behind you, trace it back, and you'll move faster. And I said, brilliant. Steve, that's who was on the team that said that. I said, great job. And now that's in the game. So when you trace your steps, it goes a little bit quicker. You can retrace a little faster. It's a great feature in this game. Revolutionary. The R in RAD is for revolutionary. Revolutionary, and damn, it's good. So it's kind of a funny little play on words.
So yeah, we have also we have like a lot of tools for a player to kind of retraverse the world faster. Like Rocco mentioned, like if you run back on we'll call it the happy trail, your little grass trail. If you run back on that, you'll like double your move speed, so you can get back through the world quicker. Or if you find the kind of exits for these undergrounds, you can just quick teleport between them. Because we want the player to explore the world, but we don't want to make it a slog. So if you want to kind of skip over some of it and
Also
move around.
not get too lost.
Yeah, I mean, it also helps because you have a clear indicator if you've been in an area or not. I mean, you have your mini map, of course, in the upper right, but you also have a kind of a visual aid, just to let you know if you've been here or not.
Something I noticed was
There
super
may be a
helpful
cave.
is when you're not really sure where you are, you can open up the mini map to make it a slightly larger mini map.
Yeah.
A maxi map.
And we have, yeah, straight, during your mini map, no maxi map. And we have some items that you can get that actually add additional. Oh, nice. You scared him off the
Got
thing.
him.
He actually tried to dodge the fireball and doing so dodged himself to his own doom. Which is pretty good. Yeah, the mini map, you can, of course, marks things you've seen on it, but it also, you can get items that actually reveal all the secrets and things like that. Do you think there might be a cave down there, Kevin?
That might be. I'll go look right after I kill this guy and probably mutate. No, not yet. Let's
Actually, this might be a good time to do one of our giveaways. So
There
if you're
is
in
a
chat,
cave.
you're in North America, leave a comment and maybe we'll randomly pick you to win a copy of this game.
I never heard much about the
Yeah,
caves
keep your fingers
since I was
crossed.
in
We'll
Martin.
see.
Never
We'll
made
see
it
who's
back out.
worthy.
Who's rad?
We'll see who's rad enough. This game, I really just want to say, there's a lot of games out there that, there's a lot of, sometimes you have to backtrack, sometimes you have to collect this, or maybe you didn't find that. And a lot of games can make that a slog. They have done so much in this game to eliminate it feeling like a slog. Everything you do in this game has, there's so much you can do in terms of, customizing this or changing that. It's just, I want to
reach
say,
it. All right.
great job to the whole team for making every step of this game a joy to play. They did, you know what? I'm going to say this on camera, just let it, the whole team gets a raise after this game comes out. Just announced.
Excellent.
We'll get into the financials in the second half of the stream.
In the meantime, I'd like to announce the winner who has been chosen by our lovely community person behind the computer, Cyrus. So giving him a little shout out. Say hi, familiar face. But the winner is chill_like_me_. I
Wow.
see
Are
you
you
wish
kidding me?
good
This
luck
is
to everyone.
happening?
So
This
there
is
you go.
happening.
Well,
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We will contact you and make sure you get a copy of RAD.
woo! We actually also just found this cave that we found. So caves are kind of hidden in the world, and they're optional, and they sometimes have really cool loot in them. Now, this one in particular, just randomly, wasn't staged or anything, happens to also have this mini boss fight. And if Kevin is able to prevail here, he also has a teleporter in here that'll actually let him skip the level boss and go right to the next level.
Failed there.
So it's a
Let's
little
see.
bit of a risk
I can
reward.
take a really tough thing here.
Ooh.
Boom.
Look at that.
Hit all
He
three
reflected
back at
all
him.
three
Oh.
back and killed him in one shot, which was pretty. That's actually really hard to pull off.
That is.
Yeah, it's a pro tip.
Do you have a limit on how many tapes you can hold right now?
999 at once, but you've got a bank, and it's really hard to ever get that in any particular run. But yeah, if you start using your bank, there's no limit there. No.
So the question is, do we want to just jump to World 2 or go back through and see a boss or?
That's a hard trick. I don't know. Let's.
I
I'd
got
say
it
we
right
just
here.
let's just
I
jump
say
and see
go,
level
go
2,
forward.
right?
I say
Go
go
forward.
forward, don't look back.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Guys, we're going to play the whole game. We don't care. This stream could go on hours. Who knows?
I will
I'm
say,
making the call. I'm making the decision. We're gonna
Jared,
do the
who
whole
will
thing.
be on later, currently has our speed run record at 37 and a half minutes for a
Oh,
complete
my.
run, which is
Including killing the final boss, which is tricky.
That is high level.
I don't know. Doesn't sound possible.
I'll also point out Kevin has
calling
the
it
other
out.
team score run for beating the entire game with nothing but the basic bat, no mutations.
Oh.
Which some people think can't be done, but Kevin was
I've
like, "Watch this."
tried it. I don't think it can. I'm starting to question this whole thing.
Someone is asking in chat about Perma Death, and given that this is a roguelike, that is definitely how this works, but there are things that you can do, right, in previous runs that'll benefit you in the future.
Yeah, so we have a couple things there. So by default, if you die out in the wasteland, anything that you're carrying will be lost, and the next time you do a run, you'll start over with a fresh character who's going to get different mutations, and that's kind of part of the fun. But if you've gone back to town anywhere during your run and deposited those tapes, they stay around. And if you've unlocked any additional characters or bats, those are there for good. You can always select them in town. And in addition, we've actually incorporated a bunch of assist features into the game, and that let the players kind of cater the difficulty level for themselves. Like there's a lot of people who like roguelikes or rouge-likes for different reasons. And one of the assist features you can turn on is you can start with what's called a bank pack that lets you only lose like half of your money on death. So there's like if it's just too much of a grind for you, you can kind of soften that in different ways, and we leave that up to the player to kind of sculpt that experience that they're after. You've got some. So this in the second biome here, to be able to go into these undergrounds, he's got to activate all these power nodes, which he's done, and the respirators that you raise from the ground to go forward are now all underground instead of above ground, so it kind of mixes the formula up a little bit. And getting some health. But because we skipped that level, you see Kevin's still sitting at 3 hearts, and we split our first heart from defeating the alpha, so it's got 3 pieces instead of 2, but had he fought the boss at the end of the last level, he would have had a 4th heart. But he chose to skip, or we chose for him to skip, which means his run's faster, and maybe he's going to get further in the game, but it might be a little harder. He's got 2 mutations, and I see he's got that firearm. The other thing he developed a while ago was an exo brain, so his brain's on top of his head. It's it's a fashion thing. And he can use the exo brain to control non-evolved mutants to attack for him.
And were those laser discs that they collected?
Yep, those are laser discs. Or I'm not sure if people don't know what floppies are. They probably don't know what a laser disc is either. It's a disc made of lasers. Are you going to use that?
Not going to use that.
So that's a tricky. We have a lot of machines that we don't tell people exactly how they work. They have to kind of learn how to run.
I'm going to let that one be.
Leave it as a mystery.
You'll leave that one as a mystery. Don't want to reveal all the secrets.
Speaking of mysteries, though, we do have a special reveal that we're going to show in just a few minutes. So I guess whenever we find someplace natural to kind of leave the viewers.
Sorry, Sat Strike right there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, you see he picked up that little icon on the lower right as the artifact. So in addition to your mutations, you can have artifacts. And that one's a satellite phone that calls in a laser strike kind of periodically. Could take out enemies, which it did there. But of course, if it hits you, you take damage too, so you got to be careful. And there's the Sat Strike coming down again.
Oh.
All right. So he's going to raise this.
Gets swankier.
Yeah. So one of the things that happens in the second biome, the Hollow Force, as we call it, is when you raise these respirators, you can use them to quick teleport back out. But they also will randomly change the weather outside every time you raise one. So sometimes you'll come out and you're in the middle of a lightning storm or things are on fire. It can just get kind of crazy.
We actually got a question in the chat here. Are any mutations just cosmetic to make you look weird, or do they all do things?
They all do stuff, but trust me when I say that we invested a lot of effort into making them also be weird. I'll give you an example. So we do have a mutation called Death Row, R-O-E, like an egg, and it's a tail that the player grows that can produce eggs that have little spider creatures that fight with you, but they have your same face, whatever the player character you're choosing. And that was just a cosmetic thing that we did, but we actually kind of really went deep on that. And if your character's head changes in any ways, like if it gets, your face can change based on other mutations. All the little babies you make will have all those mutations too. So some of that's just cosmetic fun to kind of like, but they all have like at least a hidden use, if not a really obvious one.
Weird and useful.
Yeah,
that's our motto.
It's a good mantra.
Here at Double Fine, that's how we live our lives, We wanted to just impart that on the game, imprint our style.
We tried to make sure that like all mutations they kind of fit a few qualities. One was, could it be in any other game? And even if some of it could, we wanted to give our own spin on it. Like, how many games do you have a big fleshy brain on top of your head? And they all have to have an obvious use. So press this button to shoot a fireball. They all have to have a hidden use. So you can use it to cook meat, for example, if you do the ground pound. And just fun little, cosmetic things, as you say. Try to make sure they all had that.
Baby needs a new pair of shoes.
Oh,
That's a long one.
That's every once in a while we get a lot of cash.
Sentence there.
Yeah. So this is what's called a corrupt mutation machine, meaning he has a chance of getting a negative mutation out of this, but he got lucky and got a positive one. And you would know it was negative because it would have a little different color, be like dark purple. And if you get negative mutations, they aren't always 100% negative. Like they have a trade-off, so they'll maybe, but they're not 100% positive. And you can get rid of them if you buy like a juice cleanse. There's like a juice cleanse on it. Did you die? He
Oh,
died.
I did die.
Oh no.
Did pretty good, though.
Oh,
There it
jeez.
is.
But you see it says maxed out here. Every time you play, normally what happens is you'll be unlocking things on every playthrough.
New characters to look at.
New characters, more items will show up in shops. You'll get bats that way, all sorts of stuff. But since Kevin has maxed the save out, he's got everything unlocked.
Well, while it is sad that we did die in this route, we can see a new trailer that's going to be debuting right now before anyone else. So you guys are the first to see it. So
I haven't seen this yet. I was supposed to approve of all marketing. I hope it's good.
please
I
enjoy.
I think you'll like it.
Let's see. Okay, I'll be the judge.
We have lived in the shadow of those who came before us. It is to the youth that we must turn now. Who will make this sacrifice?
The power's out, the situation dire, and we all shout, we must survive. Taken from the past and put to the now, built to last,
Yes, I can see it in your eyes.
because you are remade again, made to win. You are the one, now it's time to begin. Remade again, made to win. You are the one.
You must be remade.
You're not the same, but folks just look away. The future can claim. Flowing remains. Remade again, remade to win. You are the one, now it's time to begin. Remade again, remade to win. You are the one, now it's time to begin. Remade again, remade to win. You are the one, now it's time to begin. Remade again, remade to win. You are the one.
Who will make this sacrifice? Yes, I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah.
And we're back. So that was remade again, an original song for specifically this trailer that I hope you all enjoyed. It's pretty catchy. Listened to it a couple times. And we're actually back with some new guests from Double Fine. If they'd like to introduce themselves.
I'm Janice Bell. I was an environment artist on the project.
And I'm Jared Mills. I was a character artist for RAD.
It's fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I've just been informed halfway through that trailer. Oh my God! Yeah, add as many servers as you need, whatever costs. That's fine. There were so many digital pre-orders during that trailer debut. We're looking at an imminent digital crash. Everyone needs to get their pre-order in immediately, or I mean, who knows if the servers can even hold up? I'm praying for them. I'm praying for them.
The sooner the better.
Yeah, get your pre-order in now. Who knows what's in store? Sony and all the other companies too. I don't want to name drop them, so I shouldn't have even said Sony. So when this airs, we're going to cut that out. Thank you.
So before we head into the run, we wanted to look at something a little bit different, right?
Yes. So there are assist features in the game, which is my personal favorite because I'm a sort of gamer who likes to have more freedom to explore the game and worry less about dying in various terrible ways. So I usually like to use these when I'm playing and I just want to relax and sit back and sort of experience the world without worrying about dying too much. And usually I will put on increased attack power and no damage from cliff falls. So when you fall off the cliff, you won't lose half a heart and you have a little bit more increased power with your bat. There's also the starting with your bank pack. I don't usually use that because I like to explore for capes, and I don't like using starting health as much anymore. And I will start with a ranged Exo Mutation. So I think I'll start with that.
And let me just say, I love that that exists in this game because, you know, there's a lot of games out there, you know, maybe you're like me, you just want to explore, you want to take in the world, and, you know, maybe you're not so concerned with a challenge around every corner. You might put it on easy mode, but what does easy mode mean? Every game treats that differently. You don't know what that, I mean, what does that even mean? This game, you can customize every little bit of it to where you get the challenge that you want and none that you don't. Again, revolutionary. We're breaking new ground digitally.
And that way you can enjoy the game however you want. There are certain challenge modes, though, that we'll go over later that are a little different. And can definitely make this a lot harder than you would think.
Again, scale it whichever way you want. You know, if you want to create a huge challenge for yourself, you want to be, oh, I love being frustrated, I want to go all in, you can do that. If you want to just chill and take in the world of RAD and listen to the synth tones of this, you know, destroyed world, you can do that too. It's all in your control. Again, I want to give a shout out to the Double Fine team for making it, you know, as customized an experience as possible. And I want to say thank you to myself for kind of letting them do that, giving them permission to do that, and just, you know, it was a cool thing that I did.
Thank you, Rocco.
Yeah,
No problem.
Much
Thank you. You know
appreciated.
what? Anytime. Let's do another game. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Let's
serious.
wait for this game to launch first.
Yeah,
August
okay,
20th.
yeah, August 20th. And I'm telling you, you got to pre-order it now, I'm telling you, get on it immediately. Effective immediately, March 31st. What date? What is the date today? August something.
August 15th.
Yeah, get on it right now, and you're going to get the pre-order items, and they're amazing. When you hear the sound effects that those, you don't even have to look at the game. Just close your eyes. When you hear the sound effects that those pre-order items make, you're going to be like,
You enjoyed Mappy so much. So.
yeah, Mappy sounds. Now, I know we have a lot of Mappy heads in the chat today, but have you, any of you gamers, ever heard of Pac-Man? Yeah. When you hear the sounds from that, you're going to go, oh, I remember. It's kind of a nostalgic thing. You're going to be like, wow, I remember the, you know, whatever. I can't do it myself, but we got the original analog master tapes of those recordings, direct rip from vinyl, and we put it in the game, and it's just, it sounds hot.
Actually, I just realized we never got to show off concept art. Do you guys want to take a look at that?
I love the concept art.
Chat
You
with.
guys are gonna love this.
Chat into this. I think they'd like to see
Let's see.
some.
The chat is saying "waka waka waka." I don't know what that is. They sound sick. Okay. Oh, that's great. Wow. Oh,
Oh, yeah. So these are some of the weapons that were concepted, I think, by Derek Brand. Some original ideas for what kind of bats you could unlock for system unlocks as you play the game. A few of those are actually in the game, like that turkey leg on the bottom left.
That's awesome.
As you take damage, you take bites of the leg, and it revitalizes your energy, and you can go on to fight another battle.
Oh, so this is one of the boss rooms in World 2. So when you activate those 3 pylons and you get into the interior and then defeat the bosses in the boss room, this is that sort of room that you sort of warp into. And what I like about this room mainly is that it sort of has that Mender feel, and so Menders are the people who came in after the first apocalypse to sort of try to heal the world. And it has like a lot of those unique Mender elements in it with the emissive bits and stuff like that. So my favorite part actually in this room is when you activate that center pylon after you defeat the bosses and they rise up into the air. The sort of effect that comes off with the 2 things on the side coming off and the tentacles sort of draping down below. I don't know, it's just such an epic, cool room.
Here's some early boss concepts for one of the World 2 bosses that you might encounter. On the right, top right, I think is the one that we inevitably, or we wound up choosing. His name is Divigilus, and he divides into 3 separate bosses that you have to fight after you manage to kill the first state of it.
So this is one of the earlier concepts for one of the boss gates. So it has like the 3 Mender heads on it. The boss gates in the game now has like one central Mender head that you walk into when your Happy Trail sort of like takes over the boss gates and sort of transforms that area back into more overgrowth. So this is one of the earlier concepts.
That's Bob. Bob. Everybody's got a Bob in
Sounds
their family.
great.
Yeah, he looks like a
all you
family
need to
guy. He controls the gate in town. So there's like a gate that kind of protects the town from the muties and stuff in the fallow. And he's got a cool hat and some cool
That is very
gadgets.
cool hat, yeah.
And he operates this lever to open and close the gate, of course.
He has one job.
And that's Eli. He's kind of a wasteland potions dealer that you might find out selling some wares. He's got one of them in his hand right now. It's a hot sauce potion. These are a few early concepts for the Armorang, which is one of our ranged mutations. It replaces your arm and turns it into a boomerang, Armorang. You get it? Yeah.
Oh.
And this is the
Just got it.
snake head. It looks like a cobra, but it's got like human molars and a weird tongue that snakes don't have. Here's some early outfit concepts for the player. A couple of those, or one of those, the center one is in the game actually.
Really leaning into that 80s kind of vibe.
Yeah, a lot of like
Shoulder
cool
pads.
big coats. Yeah, shoulder pads. Those are 2 outfits that are in the game. You got the Mohawk dude. Yeah, and then that's a protector mutant from World 2. He kind of like shields the other mutants as you're fighting them, so you have to take out him first before you can get to the other ones. Here's our Mollusc. He's a big slug with spikes on the front, and he charges at you. You have to kind of get around him and hit him in the back. It's mushroom. It's mushroom.
It's a mushroom.
Yeah.
So this is in town. So the town, when you go through the gate, has like this sort of area where all the teens hang out and sort of just like hang out, chat, talk about what's going on in town. And this is where you can sort of go out on that plank and sort of take in the fall and just how this environment has been torn apart by the second apocalypse. And it's a really pretty cool area to just sort of like get a feel for that environment and the state that everything's in right now.
These are some World 2 NPCs that you might run into. They're called the Transfigured, and they have different mutations on them, like fish heads and bird heads and tree bodies and all sorts of weird stuff. So they relate to you as a mutated person.
This is one of the entrances to one of the interiors in World 2 where you get to go and buy shop items from the Transfigured, which are a community of super mutated, maybe former teens who are basically just hippies who hang out and do finger paintings and macaroni pictures in their tree houses.
Oh, yeah, some more World 2 enemies that you can fight. The guy on the left is closer to the final concept. It's a tusk mutant. He charges at you with those giant tusks. He's very scary.
It's getting a lot of love for the concept art in chat. It looks
beautiful.
super cool.
It's beautiful
And
art.
that's just like a sliver of the amount of work and designs that have gone to this game. It's kind of amazing, all the different kinds of mutations. To celebrate that, we're actually going to do a couple of giveaways. So we're going to pick 2 more names out of the chat list. So give us some love if you would like a copy of RAD.
Can I get a copy?
Are you in chat?
No. I just nobody gave me one.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay. Well,
We'll consider it.
okay. thank you.
Actually,
I just
how
wanna play
about
it.
if you prove yourself in daily challenges, we'll give you a copy of RAD.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right, guys. Oh, take this. Thank you.
Take it
All
away.
right. This stream up to this point was
It's all leading up
what
to this.
is called the warm up. It was called let's let's do a little tech demo here, see how it works. Now you're going to see how it's really played. Here we go. Again, I kind of saw this from the ground up, so I know all the ins and outs. So maybe you'll see some secrets you didn't know about. Maybe you'll see some uses of the gaming technology that you didn't even think was possible.
So what's, I guess, special about this version of it? What's different between this and the version that we were already seeing?
Yeah, the daily challenges, a lot of it's like time-based. So there's a little counter on the top left of the screen there. And it's not really like a countdown till the level's over. It's more like if you beat it before the time's done, you get a special bonus. You get some bonus points. And the name of the game is points. So you're trying to get to the top of the leaderboard by accruing as much points as possible. And from what I found, like the best way to get points is by beating the level really quickly. So I've kind of like started speedrunning the game, trying to get the time down as little as possible to get as many points as possible.
Yeah,
It's
you're
kinda-
the resident speedrunner, right? It's your title now.
It's really fun because I mean you get to play the daily challenge over and over again, so you can kind of perfect the path to get to the like optimal time, and it's become like a little in-studio competition before the game launches.
Yeah, no, Jared's the resident expert at this. We're all very jealous of his skills.
Oh,
Rocco, are you gonna take that record?
Yeah, absolutely. By the end of this stream, hear me now, respect me later. By the end of this stream, will complete this game.
all right,
So watch
Yeah.
me. Watch and learn.
I'm ready for it.
Okay, guys, those were fireballs, and don't want to get hit by those.
Dangerous.
Just a little gamer tip from me.
It's hot.
So I'd like
No,
to
stop.
announce the two
Don't.
winners that we picked
No.
randomly. The first one is named Analyst Duelist, and second one is Bo Sean. So congratulations.
Congrats.
Okay, I've mutated, guys. That was a mutation. Okay, so now I can do this.
Now you're prickly.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
see that?
This is a melee mutation, so
Yeah, you got to get right and close.
gotta
Use
get a
that.
lot on them.
Hope you're not, afraid.
I fear nothing.
That's what I thought. I was just making sure.
So giveaway winners, please DM us, or we will DM you actually, and get all that sorted out.
And DM me. Maybe we can split the winnings or something, because nobody so far has given me what I would have asked for. I just really want a copy. I want to play it.
It seems like you played before. You're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just again that we don't want to run out of copies, so my personal copies had to go out to the digital storefronts. They didn't want to waste any data on me, because the customer is important, and the customer is always right. You may have learned that in school.
I didn't take that class. I don't know.
We're actually getting a bunch
no.
of questions from chat looking back, and there's one from Cherico who asks, what's inspired the
Oh,
art
no.
style for this game? Any like movies or I guess
Oh, yeah.
music the 80s seems pretty prominent.
Yeah, in the beginning of the project, we watched a few movies. Cherry 2000 was one of the inspirations. Lee Petty, who was on earlier, was a big 80s post-apocalyptic movie buff. So he brought in his whole collection of movies, and we got inspired by those. Another one, what else did we watch? We watched
we watched a lot of weird stuff.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Solar Babies.
Oh,
that was a
God,
good
yeah.
one. I don't know if anybody in chat has seen it, but it's very weird. It's it's like a roller hockey post-apocalyptic movie where this team, the Solar Babies, are trying to escape their. I don't even know. It was weird.
Yeah, no one knows what was going on. In that.
It was great inspiration though. It
Solar
was-
Babies and Rad Teens is how this is going.
Yeah, exactly. That was the big inspiration. The teens are heavily based off
The
of them.
teens.
Also, yeah, a lot of comic book illustration kind of artwork, and I think the big thing was that
Whoa.
Lee wanted to make a post-apocalyptic game that wasn't really desaturate and dreary. He wanted to make it very colorful and illustrative. And I think
Instead of a wasteland, it's this very lush, full of life kind of trail that's following you along.
exactly, yeah, that was our big goal, I think.
So another question from the chat was asking, pretty
Oh,
general,
no.
but what's everyone's favorite part about the game? Feel like you might be a little biased, but there's nothing wrong with that.
I think my favorite part is probably World 2, just because I'm a big fan of just that whole color scheme of that world. And also, it sort of has like this sort of halfway between regrowth and still being an apocalyptic world. So you have that like beautiful, lush landscape, but you also still have like the mutated elements and the mutants, and stuff just still seems just sort of, rendered and desperate.
Someone's asking why Rocco is not himself in the game.
I'm going to give a little bit of a secret. This hasn't been announced yet, so I'll just go ahead and break the ice. I hope I don't get, in trouble. But I have a custom character that will be downloadable. His name is Jorgo, and he's very twisted. So look for that coming very soon. The DLC, it will be very expensive DLC, but it will be worth it.
It'll be
because
coming-
his backstory is just so twisted. I can't even repeat it on this
Wow.
stream. It wouldn't even be worth it.
Estimated release date what would you say?
Oh, I don't even know. We'll
20
if it
20
takes a lifetime, so be
It'll
it.
2050?
take a long time.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
might not even ever make it to the game, but
Maybe after the second apocalypse for ourselves, then we'll find out.
yeah, because that way then we have some experience to draw from. So I'm just gonna say we'll wait until that.
Oh, man.
Okay, so let's do it right or not at all, and it may be not at all.
Jorgo has to be kept under wraps.
Yeah, got to keep
It's too
that.
powerful.
Yeah, I don't really want to reveal too much, but it's very scary. The CEO of Bandai Namco has called me several times in the middle of the night and has said, "Hey, I'm thinking about Jorgo right now," and that's what scares me. And then he just hangs up.
September 31. Yeah, that's it. That's
Yep.
the release date. Thank you,
good.
Yep.
chat.
That's good.
We got another question that asks, what inspired all the cool muties and all the different kinds of creatures that you come across? I know I did mention the movie thing. Is there anything else that you pull from?
It's hard to think what went through Derek Brand and Lee Petty's mind as they concepted these weird creatures. But I think it's a lot of the like 1980s action figures and toys, particularly a ball. I forget what it's called exactly. It's
Mad Balls?
Mad Balls.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I brought those in. That's what inspired them. That's why I knew the name, because I
Right.
just had such
Yeah.
a collection. Okay, I'm taking damage, and I thought we would turn that off before I picked this up.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Sorry, you can't use accessibility
Yeah.
features.
Yeah,
Well,
not
in
daily
Daily
challenge.
Challenge.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, but
you
we
know,
can change
yeah.
that for you.
It would have
we
been
could
nice,
try
to
to make a rock
make some
mode.
accommodations.
Yeah.
You're running
You
out
guys
of
know I
time,
don't like
too.
taking damage in games.
So
And,
everyone
I made that very
asking
clear.
about leaderboards and competition, playing with your friends. Daily challenges is a really great way of playing against your friends, comparing scores, seeing how you stack up.
The way forward is open.
Hey, you got to the next door.
Yeah. You got one health left, though. You got to be careful. Get some help. Maybe in the car there.
Yeah, maybe the car has help.
Police car. might
Someone
have
got some
help.
meat.
It's just fun to smash police cars anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Especially police cars.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
So that sound means that the timer's ticking out, and you will not receive any more points for this round.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So you gotta, speed through it a little bit. Usually you get a big boost of points from killing the boss, but in this case you're out of time, so you won't. But when you go to the next level, you'll get another timer countdown.
In the meantime, before Rocco can grab even more points, we should do another giveaway. So, chat, you know what to do at this point. Remember, North America only, please, but give some love if you'd like a copy of RAD.
Alpha mutants.
Don't worry, guys. I'm still going to get all the bonuses. The rules mean nothing to me.
Of course, yeah.
I've got this. Get ready to see the exciting finale. Here we go. Oh, no. No, don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't. Stop!
If you can dodge through them too. Oh,
No, okay. I don't know what just happened, but
You got 240.
I don't want this.
You got 240 points.
Is this live?
Yeah, if you hit.
Okay, because whenever this airs, I want to change that, and it looks like I won. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
240,000.
Ready? Hold on. Let's get it. Let's get a clean take. 3,
Right,
2,
right.
1. Yeah. All right. That was what a great game that was. Shout out to all the team. I beat it, and what an ending.
Congrats, you beat it so fast,
That was
too.
incredible.
Lightning.
The emotional ending. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The world and what happened to it. All right.
I'm in tears.
I'm the winner. I'm always the winner, and I never lose. I never. Cut to this camera. I never lose. I cut to all cameras. Split screen. I never lose.
If you hit B on there, you'll actually go back to the leaderboards. And by the time we
No
launch,
need to see them. I know what's number one.
By the time we launch, you'll actually be able to see Rocco's score on there. I think on PlayStation.
Which will be number one.
I'll show you the score right
obviously.
now.
One, yeah,
Yeah.
240.
If you see me
See if
in
you can
1
a,
million subscribers.
another camera, I forgot to announce, chat, that this last giveaway is the grand prize. So not only do you get one of these floppy disks, you get one of these sweet lunch boxes to, I suppose, store said floppy disk. And we have the key art, and it's a nice little wraparound. So the lucky winner will get to keep some rad stuff in here.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to do a world exclusive. People have been asking what's on the floppy disk. I'm going to tell them right now. All the uncompressed audio from the game. What? Sorry, what? Okay, I'm sorry. Half of one song. A MIDI.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's.
You gotta find out for yourselves. Gotta listen to those sweet, dulcet tones. And the winner is Splicer Child. Congratulations.
Congrats.
All right,
little-
Splicer
MIDI.
Child. You win this round.
But maybe, just maybe, he might be able to beat this score that you set up.
Ah, good one. Very
Find out.
good. Very funny.
Find out on Tuesday.
Well, thanks everyone for coming in. This has been RAD. RAD comes out August 20th, and we have just 5 more days of the pre-order bonus, so get on that as fast as you can. You heard the servers.
Yeah. We are input. There may not be any servers left. I know we're wrapping this up, but it needs to be said.
Yes.
There may not be any servers left by the end of this weekend. The pre-orders for RAD are happening at such a rate that the heat is. This has been the hottest month on record. Ask scientists. It's true. And the heat plus the server speed equals kaput. So pre-order now and make sure you get yours in, because who knows what the digital marketplace will look like come next Tuesday. Who knows? I make no promises. Okay, all streams should have some good controversy. Let's pit the systems against each other. What's the best version to buy? Go ahead.
Well, I was hoping to, right before we do that, just show off any version's great. If you got this pre-order bonus, here is the super cool bat that we have. It makes sound effects from original Bandai Namco arcade games.
Yeah.
So if I can hopefully just give something a whack, you can kind of hear. Oh, well, I don't want to hit Billy. I'm sorry, Billy.
Yeah. Poor Billy.
But it does this cool pixel effect to the characters, and it's just one of the cool things. You get 2 characters too that you can play as, The pre-order bonus is, again, limited. And beyond that, I hope that you enjoyed RAD, and we had a lot of really fun guests today. Thank you for coming, and hope you enjoy the show.
Thank you,
You
everybody.
guys want to sign off?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for joining us and buy our game. It's awesome and beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, and we hope that you pre-order Game of the Year, that was to that camera, Game of the Decade, I said to that camera, and then Game of the Century. End the stream.